Hello there everybody, Sam'sTrains here and welcome back to the railway. It's crazy, but I guess here we are at the end of yet another year. And this is going to be the final Sam'sTrains video of 2024. So this is just going to be a nice chill video with nothing crazy happening. I'm just going to be taking a gentle look back at the year 2024 and just talking about everything that happened. So grab yourself a drink, sit down, relax, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to be talking about this year's highlights, of course. I'm also going to be showing you the rankings for the year 2024, so you'll be able to see the best and the worst models all in one list. I'm also going to do some manufacturer awards, so best locomotive manufacturer, worst manufacturer, etc. And also the final train of the year. This is a tradition that I've done for a really long time now, and we're going to finish off with that. Right, let's talk about reviews then. I believe this year I made more reviews than ever before. So I believe the grand total was about 95 reviews. Never made that many reviews in a year before. And if my count was right, 67 of those reviews were locomotive reviews. And I've got you to thank for this because, of course, it's you that love the reviews so much. And it's you that allows me to keep making them. So many people watch them and comment on them and tell me that you like them, that it's just worth it to keep doing them. I love making them, you love watching them. It's just absolutely amazing. And if you like the reviews and you haven't already, do consider subscribing. This is not something I usually ask people to do because it's just a number at the end of the day. But a lot of people that watch the reviews actually aren't subscribed, so it's free too. You can just click the subscribe button and then you'll get notified when any of the reviews come out. But anyway, lots of reviews this year. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. So I'm just going to stick with locomotives so that this doesn't take the rest of your day. But here are some of the new models that we saw this year. It's been a pretty good year for new models, but an even better year for new announcements. So with a bit of luck, next year we'll be seeing even more new locos. But of course, it's not just new models that I review. I like to re-review models that I've looked at before, and sometimes maybe I pick up older or slightly vintage models, and they're also a lot of fun to review. But as you can see, so many locos reviewed this year. Next then, I'm going to reveal the final rankings for the year, which is something people ask me for a lot. Now, I am filming this video a little bit early, and at the time of filming, I am still expecting a few more items in to review. So obviously, if they do make the top of the ranking or whatever, I might pop them into next year's ranking so that they have a chance of appearing there. But as it is at the moment, here is the ranking for 00 and HO locomotives. And this is my biggest logbook. Obviously, I review a massive range of 00 and HO locos. And so for those asking for the final ranking, this is what that looks like. Here is 00 and HO rolling stock. Once again, an eclectic mix. I don't review quite as much rolling stock, but there's been a fair few this year, as you can see. Here is TT locomotives, not that many here, obviously hoping for more next year, and the TT Class 66 and J50 look as though they'll be joining us soon. So yeah, hopefully more TT locos next year. TT rolling stock as well, again not a whole lot on here, but a good mini selection I suppose. And something I have done a lot of this year is N-gauge locomotives, mainly from Dapol, but I would like to try some other brands of N-gauge as well, or N-scale as people like to say, and here is that ranking. Up next then, I'm going to do some manufacturer awards, and I'm about to reveal my best 00 locomotive manufacturer of the year. Now this is based on the scores that you've just seen, and bear in mind I don't just look at new models from these manufacturers, I also review a smattering of older models. So these awards are based on my reviews for the year, it's not necessarily based on their new output for 2024. So the best locomotive manufacturer of 2024 for me, in third place would be Dapol with an average score of 7.62 out of 10. They produce some amazing 00 releases, but I also reviewed some of their N-gauge locos this year, which were not that great, which has dragged them down to third place. Second place was Rapido at 7.95, which is well deserved. Some lovely locos from Rapido this year, so glad to see them doing well in my scores. But in first place we have Accurascale. Yeah, Accurascale are very consistent in their high quality. They put masses of detail into their models, and I still say that Accurascale have the best prices. Alright, up next then, I'm going to talk about the worst locomotive manufacturers of 2024, once again according to my scores. So in third place, my third worst was Bachmann, with an average score of 7.37 out of 10. Now with Bachmann I would say their new stuff is actually pretty good, if very expensive. Their old stuff not so much though, and their current ranges are full of a lot of old stuff, which is probably why. Second place we have Hornby with an average score of 6.91 out of 10. Again, Hornby do recycle a lot of old models, many of them aren't that great. And there have been a few issues with Hornby's new models this year too. I'm thinking of the Black 5 I reviewed mainly. In first place though, it is Helgen with an average score of 6.39 out of 10. Now to be fair, there was one Helgen loco this year that I really liked. That was the NER Autocar, and yeah, that was a great model. But that was one great model against I think 4 others that I thought were very poor, so of course on average the score was fairly low. One thing that there's a lot of questions and dare I say it confusion about is my grading system during reviews. So I thought it would be quite nice to sort of talk a little bit about how that works and why I stand by it and why I think it's good. So each model I review receives one of 6 grades, A through to F, and those grade boundaries are set at the start of each year. Now the grade boundaries are set on the previous year's data, and I arrange them so that each grade sees roughly the same number of models assigned to it each year. So to put an example out there, let's say I review 60 locomotives, then I would aim to have 10 of those locos with a grade of A, 10 with a grade of B, 10 with a grade of C, so on and so on. So this means that when I give a loco a grade of A, that's telling you that it's in the top 1/6 of all models I've reviewed for the year. When I give a model a grade of B, you know, it's in the 2nd 6th, so it's pretty good, but it's not quite top tier. And I think this is really good because you can look at that one grade and there's so much data feeding that grade that it tells you exactly what sort of model this is, and it allows you to compare it against other models that are available. So when I give a model a grade, I'm not just plucking it out of thin air without any rhyme or reason, as some people seem to think. The grade is assigned based on the score. So it's no good commenting, telling me I don't agree with this grade, it should have been a higher grade, because the grades are set in stone. If you want to give me feedback, you need to give it to me based on the ratings that I gave it. Do you agree with the detail, performance rating, quality, that sort of thing? The grade is just based on the score. Having said that, I've just done the grade boundary calculations for next year, for 2025, and interestingly they are a little bit lower than this year's, which means it'll be easier for manufacturers to get the higher grades. Now there's quite a few possible reasons for that. Maybe standards have slipped a little bit, well possibly. Perhaps I've just reviewed more older models and that's dragged the scores down a bit this year, maybe. Maybe I'm being harsher, I don't know. But regardless, here are the grade boundaries for the next year, for 2025. Now there's still some reviews left to do this year, and I will adjust these based on those reviews, but for now, for locomotives, if a model gets 8.41 and above, it will get a grade of A. B is at least 7.63 out of 10, C is 7.30, so C is quite a narrow grade, D is 6.81, E is 6.39, and I will fail anything that gets a score below 6.39 out of 10. So this means that next year it'll be a bit easier for models to get the higher grades, which I'm pleased about. I think this year at times some of the grades given out did seem a little bit harsh, and so the fact that next year's grade boundaries reflect that is good to see, and it means obviously that the system does work. So there you go, hopefully that explains how the grades work. Let me move on now and talk about some of my non-review videos and some of the highlights for 2024. So the first thing was saying goodbye to Hattons. Obviously that wasn't much of a highlight, but what I did was I took a last look at some of their products, and of course the good news now is that lots of these products are coming back now thanks to Accurascale. I thought a lot of these would never be seen again at the time, so it was kind of a sad goodbye. After that, I launched Uncle Fredrickson's amazing balancing military train, which was a lot of fun. I always love these bizarre balancing models, and I'd love to do more of them one day. Up next was one of my most popular videos of the year when I was asking, was Hornby's TT120 range a mistake? Yeah, I think the most popular video of the year this, and it was a good in-depth discussion on the state of Hornby's TT range, which is a very interesting subject, isn't it? After that, I gave you a behind-the-scenes tour of this room, which was really interesting for me, actually, because even I didn't realise just how much I did in here. Never thought about it, really, so it was quite a surprise. After that, I did the battle of the model railway retailers. I tested lots of big retailers to see which ones offered the best service, and the results were very interesting. I also got some great feedback from some of the retailers, some of them even making changes to improve their service, which was just awesome. Glad to have facilitated something like that. After that, I launched my new Era 1 train packs, and these remain my most popular releases, so there is going to be more Era 1 in 2025, that is the plan. After that, I got an exclusive look at an early sample of Accurascale's new Class 60, which really was shaping up to be an amazing model, so hopefully we'll see that in the flesh soon coming out. After that, I had a day out at the Seaton Tramway, which was again another first for me. I personally have never done a video on trams before, I don't think. And yeah, it was a great first for the channel, a lot of fun, certainly a place I would recommend if you sort of live down south or you can get down south. After that, another first for the channel, it was my first ever look at NG7 models, which is kind of Bachmann's British answer to the ON30 scale. And these models were really promising, beautiful looking, they worked very, very well, and I'm excited to see more from Bachmann. Hopefully they've got more to release in NG7 very soon. After that, I did a restoration video on a Hornby Connie locomotive, which was in truly horrible shape, and I spent ages fixing it, restoring it, painting it, and even making some new parts for her. I find this process extremely satisfying, and I am trying to do at least one of these projects a year, so if you've got any suggestions for what you'd like to see next, do let me know. After that, Chloe and I went to the Talyllyn Railway for the Audrey Extravaganza. We got absolutely soaked that day, but it was still a great event, and we got a pretty decent video out of it too, including lots of TV props used in Thomas & Friends that were on display. So if you've not seen that video, check out the link in the top corner now. Next, I did a bit of a bizarre experiment into artificial intelligence. I had AI write a video for me, and to be fair, I didn't give it very much, and that was kind of the idea really, and what it came up with was very bizarre indeed. If you haven't seen that, check it out, although it's not a good video, admittedly. Then, me and Chloe went on a visit to West Hill Wagon Works, and what an incredible manufacturer this is. They're interesting because they create almost everything they sell right there in their building in-house. And they also even have other manufacturers testing new locos there, so it's an interesting place which is well worth checking out, and of course they have a website as well. After that, I launched my Furness Railway open wagons with an industry first, which was physical weathering, or distressing if you like. Now at the time of launching that video, I wasn't really sure if it was truly a first, and I did ask in the video if anyone has seen this feature on a ready-to-run model before, and so far nobody had. I'm asking that question again now, but it looks possible at least that this actually was a genuine first for a ready-to-run model. Also, I love to create machines, and this year I built a wagon testing machine to test the endurance of railway wagon bearings, which are made from resin. And this was an extremely handy tool which I've used quite a bit since then, and I've actually wore it out a couple of times and had to replace parts on it, which was insane, but yeah, interesting to have. Then I did the Battle of the 040 Shunters. I enjoy these sort of more light-hearted videos. And it was fun to find out which of the 040 Shunters was the best, steam or diesels. And I'm not going to tell you now, just in case you've not seen the video, but check it out if you haven't. That was a good bit of fun. After that, one of our favourite videos was the new National Festival of Railway Modelling, which was at the NEC where Whalley used to be, and it was just lovely to be there again, enjoying an exhibition, because after last year's Whalley, you know, it was obviously cancelled. We didn't think we'd ever be doing that again. So yeah, that was a great exhibition. We had a lot of fun. After that, I did my new model launches. I launched my Barry wagons, plus the new screw boxes, and a massive thanks to everyone who purchased any of these products, because they go such a long way to supporting the channel, and the fact that people enjoy what I make and, you know, they actually feel they want to pay good money for it is a massive honour. So thank you so much to everyone who picked up any of this stuff. Finally, I did some Advent videos with Chloe. This was a lot of fun. Again, it was light-hearted, nothing serious. I'm sure the pure model railway enthusiasts probably didn't like it too much, but it was fun for us to let our hairs down and just do something a little bit silly and fun for a change. And I've not done daily videos for ages either, so yeah, that was great. Another thing I enjoy is completely foolish shenanigans. I think a thing with this model railway hobby is that it does have a tendency to get a little bit serious, and a lot of my reviews are kind of serious, down to brass tacks, etc. And so to remind myself that this hobby is all about having fun, sometimes I just do utterly insane things. Things that I look back on and say, what on earth was I thinking? So, without any further ado, here comes the comedy montage for 2024, and I'm going to look away because it's pretty embarrassing. Here we go.
Why am I on my knees?
Well, it's just the way we do things around here. Today's video is sponsored by Connor's Carpets. This is where you get a groin strain. It really does look like he's sitting on the bog, doesn't he? I don't know where we're going because everything's wet. And Backman, if you're looking at this logo and thinking, maybe we should make some new LSWR coaches at £1,000 a piece, don't, okay? Don't. What at the North Pole is producing milk? The reindeer? Mrs. Claus? I hate a cheap knob. Yes. Help me. Help. Careful, no.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
I don't think this is gonna. I don't think this.
23. I don't need one more day to go after this.
That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching and happy railroading. Let's talk a little bit about how the channel's doing then, and again, this just blows me away every year. So once again, around 10 million views for the year. 10 million seems to be about my standard. It's about what I get every year, and it's just crazy, isn't it? Considering this channel is just all about model trains, the fact that there are 10 million views generated by just this one channel alone, yeah, that's bonkers. In terms of watch time, we're looking at way over 1 million hours of my videos watched this year. That's 1 million hours. So if you put all of those hours together for one person, it'd take that one person, I figured it out, 50,000 days or about 140 years to watch all of that. So if you think about that, that is a lot of hours of Sam's Trains watched this year. That's an interesting form of torture, isn't it, that? Anyway, yeah, unfathomable, as is the pronunciation of unfathomable. And I've still said it wrong, goodness me. I definitely need a break though. And we also welcomed a lot more subscribers this year. I think it's way over 10,000. Obviously, I'm sort of filming this a bit early, but we're looking at almost 15,000 new subscribers joining the channel this year. So if you're one of those, welcome aboard. And if you're somebody that's been subscribed for, 11, 12 years to the channel, thank you for still being here. And again, subscribe if you want to. Let's see if we could break the 15,000 barrier next year, or maybe this year. I don't know. Maybe it's too late for that. I don't know. Anyway, tradition. I like to change things up on this channel. I like to try different things. I don't want things to stagnate, but I am also quite a traditional person, and I do like to have my little rituals. And one thing that I've done for a really long time on this channel is to finish each year with it's hard to explain. So the last train I run each year, I try to make it exactly the same as the first one that I ran at the start of the year back in January. And I wrote down some info about this because I first did this 10 years ago. Yeah, this is a tradition that I've done for 10 years now, and I'm so sentimental that I'm not gonna stop doing it. So with that, this is the end of 2024. Let's finish it with the same train that I started it with. There we go, finally I explained it properly. Right, down to the track. And the first train I ran in 2024 was, well, it was during my first review of the year, which was of this loco, Hornby's new 2MT. Crazy to think that soon this review will have been a whole year ago. It is scary how time is passing. It seems to be getting faster every year I get older. But anyway, yeah, it's been quite tricky to put this train together because usually it's coaches on this sort of first and last train of the year. For whatever reason, this time it was a long goods train, so I've had to look at the video, try to get it right. Feel free to check out the video and let me know how I did. I think I have it exactly right. So with that, the very final train for 2024 is about to depart. Here we go. Gosh, another year over. So there she goes. Feels like I'm doing a performance test, but I'm not. I'm just watching it for old time's sake. And there it is. So I hope you've enjoyed all the videos this year. And like I say, there will be people, I know there are people that will have watched all 96 or however many reviews it was. So yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. As always, I try and do my best with these videos, but if there's anything you'd like to see me do better or something you'd like to suggest for the future, yeah, I'm always open to feedback. So definitely use the comments, drop me messages. Yeah, I'm always interested to hear your ideas, whether it's feedback, whether it's suggestions for new or different videos. Yeah, anything like that, please don't be shy to get in touch. I'm happy to take suggestions. I might not do them all. I might decide to go a different direction, but I still really appreciate having your ideas and suggestions because it keeps me on track, I think. Pardon the pun. But yeah, there we go. The last train of 2024. I can't believe we're here already, but we certainly are. And finally then, the most important part of this channel is the same as it always has been, and that is you. Once again, for another year and for over a decade now, you have come back, you have watched the stuff, you've commented, you've said you liked it, you've bought my products, you've sent me super chats, and I honestly can't express how much I appreciate that. None of this truly would be possible without you. I would literally just be here talking to myself if you didn't tune in every time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do stick around. Please keep sending in the comments. It used to be that I answered every single comment that I got, but unfortunately, things have just gotten too big for that now, which I kind of hate, but obviously it's a nice problem to have. Please remember though, although I might not answer every comment, I do still read all of them. Chloe gets irritated because I'm there scrolling through my comments every night, but I read them all, and the ones that need an answer, or you know, the ones that I particularly feel I want to answer, I do. But just because I don't answer your comment doesn't mean that it's not appreciated, and it doesn't mean that I'm not reading them. So thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you had a very, very Merry Christmas, and I hope you had a fairly painless 2024, and I hope next year is just as good, if not better, for you. So once again, thank you so much for the support. I'm going on a bit of a sabbatical now. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to be doing maintenance and planning my year out up here, but there's going to be no videos from me until about mid-January. So the next you'll hear from me will probably be Hornby's announcements, if they do them in 25 January, I don't know. But anyway, once again, thank you again. Happy New Year to you all, and I'll catch you very soon. Well, that's another year finished. Sam's Trains signing out. Happy New Year, everybody.